Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Welcome to Yuba County Board of Supervisors meeting. As a courtesy to others, please turn off your cell phones or other electronic devices which may disrupt the meeting. If attending via Zoom, please have your microphones muted at times you're not speaking. All items on the agenda other than correspondence and board and staff member reports are considered items for which the board may take action. The public will be given opportunity to comment on action items on the agenda when the item is heard, and comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual.
In-person meeting. The board meeting will be open to in-person attendance. To remain in compliance with the state's public health guidance and Cal OSHA COVID-19 regulations, masks are allowed for individuals who choose to wear them. Zoom meeting. The board proceedings are available via Zoom, and you may participate in public comment by using the raise hand function. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953E, local legislative bodies may hold public meetings via teleconference. Additionally, even when members of the local legislative body are attending meetings in person, the local legislative body may make meetings accessible telephonically or otherwise electronically to all members of the public. Members of the public are encouraged to observe and participate in the teleconference.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. I'll lead it. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Here.
Supervisor Blaser.
Here.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford.
Here.
Supervisor Messick.
Here.
All present.
All right. First item is consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. Do we have any comments on the consent agenda? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments from the public on the consent agenda? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it passes. And now we think we get into the meat of the program here. Let's see. Present Employee Service Awards to the Yuba County employees for 2023.
Yes. All right. Am I on? Perfect. All right. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kevin Mallon, Yuba County Administrator. So I have the privilege this morning to present to the board for recognition employees that have been with the county for quite a long time for some of them, but all of them have reached a milestone during calendar year 2022. So we are, if the board could, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be reading off names. Well, first we're going to recognize folks for 10 years of service and 15 years of service, 20, 25, 30, and 35 years of service. Each one of those categories, we're going to read off the names and then have those individuals join the board between the flags there so that we can take a photo with the board and those individuals. And I guess we'll go from there. So Tiffany Manuel is going to take on the first group, and so it's kind of a point of order. When your name is read, if you could walk from the back towards the front via this. I guess it's my left, your right, to pick up your award, and then head on over to the board there for your photo. Alrighty.
Okay, so I'm going to be reading the service award recipients for 10 years of service. Leanne Chin, Maka Fisher, Russell Henderson, Dana Lawrence.
Is applause okay, Tiffany?
Yeah. James Morales. Donna Paterno. And Jennifer Ross. Okay. Okay, so now I'll read the service award recipients with 15 years of service. We have Keith Becker. Diana Beeler. Mary Ingalls. Susan Jensen. Ryan Landis. Rebecca Ramirez. Andrea Sanchez. Cynthia Sartell. And Laura Topete.
All right, so our next group is going to be for 20 years of service. And as I mentioned before, these are all folks that hit that milestone in 2022. So these are people that began their career at Yuba County in 2002. So I have 16 names to read off. So bear with me here. But so Sheila Baker, Stephanie Beely, Dawn Dees, Kara Glaveras, Paula Gomes, Chow Her, Hortensia Hernandez, Marisol Jimenez, Marvin King, Norma Cupster, Jerry Parker, Penny Roy, Kathy Seal, Jeremy Strang, Jennifer Vasquez, and Arthur Williams. Two 2002 must have been a busy year for the county. It is funny. Oh yeah, we had Rachel might have to step back a little. Oh, so 20. Okay. All right. So before we move on to the next group, I just wanted a point of clarification. So all of those that just received the 20-year recognition, you just had a certificate here because you'll receive the actual award at the luncheon that'll be on August 18th. Yep. So I just and that'll be for the 25, 30, and 35 years of service as well. All right. So next up is 25 years of service. I have one name in this category. All right. So this, I guess I better announce the name here. So Joseph Pomeroy. All right. Congratulations, Joseph. So 25 years of service meant he began his career here at Yuba County in 1997. All right. Congratulations. Hey. All right. All right. So we have two folks we're going to recognize for 30 years of service, which meant they began their career here in 1992. All right. So first up is Jody Bird. All right. Where's she at? I know she must be working hard. She works in environmental health, takes care of our water systems and makes sure they're all safe for everybody to drink out of. So maybe she's busy out in the field. All right. So next up is Brett Hungridge. And I did see Brett back there. All right. And last and certainly not least, as for 35 years of service. So anybody doing the math, that means she started here in 1987. All right. Dawn Wells. Yes. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming out. Now, I'm going to give the board a minute to get back up on the dais and see if the board would like to impart any words of wisdom on the folks that were recognized.
All right, any comments from any of the board members? They're going to be making noise for a little while.
That's all right.
Yeah. Any public comment cards?
I guess they all wanted to get back to work.
Yeah, you don't see this type of longevity in big towns.
Yeah.
All right, we got another presentation coming up, so can we clear the doors? Can we clear the doors back there? Please clear the doors. Do we need a translator? All right, we're gonna get on. All right, next item. Let's have a couple of comments from the board about the previous awards. Don, you have anything?
Well, whether it's government or private business, the best part of it is having the longevity of your employees, and this creates the stability in the company. So really appreciate it. Thanks.
Seth?
Those who didn't already flee our withering gaze, thank you for your service.
Just want to echo the thank you to all of our amazing employees, especially those we recognize today for some pretty impressive longevity, 35, 30, 25, and 20 years had a huge group of people. So I think that's a testament to what an amazing organization this is. And it's such an amazing organization because of all of you. And we can't do what we do for our residents without you. So thank you.
John?
I think I agree with everybody. It just, in fact, I made the comment down there, wow, the 20-year people is such a huge group. So
yeah.
I don't know what that's going to be like when they all decide to retire in the same year. That's going to be difficult for us, but
yeah,
it's great to see people working for the county for so long, not leaving us.
Yeah. It's absolutely amazing to see people last in a job that long. Instead, it gives you an idea of what the attitude is at Yuba County. This is not a county. This is a family that works together toward common goals, and it has been very successful in the last 10, 15 years, more than any other counties in the state. And thank you very much. We couldn't do it without you. Any comments from Kevin? No? Okay. All right. We'll let you loose. All right. Receive quarterly update from Health and Human Services. Starts the timer on him. No. Approximately 15 minutes. You can have hot dogs and potato salad.
That's right, Sheriff.
You know,
Good morning. Do you guys hear me okay? Hi, John Cornell, Assistant Director for Health and Human Services of Yuba County. That's a tough act to follow. Right there, I am happy that I'm not having to present in front of that packed house. I was a little nervous there for a second, but back down to a regular crowd size here. I'm going to present the quarterly report for Health and Human Services for the months of April through June of 2023. So we'll get started here.
can I ask you a question I've always wondered? How many people actually work at the Health and Human Services? We get different department numbers and all that stuff, but I don't think people realize how big it actually is.
Yeah, I think we have 323 or three. I might have that number wrong. It's close to that. Allocated positions, but we typically run around about 270 filled positions.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. And we'll actually start with our biggest group here, public assistance. There's Deputy Director Jamie Bartolome and the 110 employees that work in that group. And there we go. First project we wanted to highlight was our involvement in CalFresh Awareness Month. This year, the focus was maximizing access to services, spreading that message to all of the residents of Yuba County. You can see the little data slice up here in the top right. It's about 22% of the residents in Yuba County receive CalFresh benefits, over 18,000 people. And in this outreach effort, we went kind of everywhere, really. Went to held events at Marysville, Olive First, Brownsville, Oregon House, Wheatland High School, Olive First Elementary, San Brandon Park. Really tried to get that message out into the community as much as possible to as many residents as possible. Next is our partnership with Casa de Esperanza and the CalWorks program. Casa de Esperanza is a nonprofit shelter serving victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse, and human trafficking. And this partnership helps connect CalWorks recipients directly with the Casa de Esperanza organization if those CalWorks recipients identify as victims of domestic abuse. Up here in the upper right, we've got it shows there were 764 reports of domestic violence in 2022 in Yuba County. That number is much larger than our actual CalWorks recipients that have identified as victims of domestic abuse. We don't have that data collected yet, but we're working on it. So our number would be smaller than that within the CalWorks program, but just to give you an idea. And then you can see a bulleted list of the programs there in the bottom left, or the services rather, that Casa de Esperanza offers. Next is a partnership with MJUSD for adult high school diplomas and GED, and also English as a second language courses. This is again in the CalWorks program. See almost 4,000 people in Yuba County receiving CalWorks, about 5% of the population. The classes that are offered are very flexible during the morning, afternoon, evening. The idea being that they're geared toward individuals that are either working, or the goal is to get them gainfully employed. So the flexibility of the courses is a very important aspect. Next is our partnership with YCOE for a youth paid work experience program, youth in families that receive CalWorks benefits. And this program includes all of those aspects there bulleted, teaching youth how to search for jobs, do skills assessments, get paid work experience. So pretty valuable for youth that are just entering the workforce. Next, we have our partnership with the Yes to Yuba, specifically the Yes to Startups program that they developed. So that program, I think you've heard about it here at the board before, is the boot camp for burgeoning entrepreneurs that want to learn how to start a small business, fill out the forms, learn all the stuff that they have to do. And at the end of that 5-week boot camp, they learn how to apply for grant funding to help kickstart their business. Our connection here connects our welfare to work recipients directly with that program. If they want to run their own small business, we help direct them directly to that program. We think it's a really valuable partnership with them. So next, I'm going to hand it over to Deputy Director Jamie Bartolome to talk about the Veteran Services Conference.
Can you hear me okay? Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Jamie Bartolome, and I am a Deputy Director at Health and Human Services. I'm excited to share an update about the recent California Association of County Veteran Service Officers training conference that was held here in Yuba County. In June, the Yuba-Sutter Veterans Service Office hosted about 150 attendees for the 5-day conference at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Board Chair Supervisor Vasquez speech during opening ceremonies was a hit as he welcomed veterans from all over the state to Yuba County. During the conference, HHS Director Jennifer Vasquez and I received many compliments from those attending regarding the event's organization, venue, and Yuba teams led by Marvin King and Michelle Mazerel. Our partners from Beale Air Force Base, Colonel Church, and Chief Master Sergeant Oliver were amazing keynote speakers during the gala dinner. The Veterans Association was so impressed with Yuba County and Hard Rock that they are working on a 3-year agreement with Hard Rock to move their annual winter training from Sacramento to Yuba County. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge Marvin and our communication and engagement team for the success of this event and read a letter from Del Norte County's Veteran Service Office. Dear Michelle, I wish to extend the gratitude of Job Silva and myself for all the time, energy, and work you and your team of amazing ladies put toward the conference. Marvin stated he did not require any thanks for such a successful conference because all he did was get out of the way and let you ladies do the work. I disagree with Marvin. If he had not the foresight to seek out your assistance, I honestly believe the conference would have just been another conference. Every time I have been asked how the conference was, I could not answer the question without giving props to you and your team. The team were there early, all throughout the day and late into the evening. All the time with smiles and energy, one could not help but rise to their level and get the most out of the conference. Along with this letter of appreciation, I have included thank you cards for all those involved in ensuring the great success of the conference. Inside the cards, please find one of our newly minted challenge coins and a mint. I won't explain the mint as I'm sure there are a couple of your team members who will be able to fill in the rest. Again, thank you so much for all the work you and your team did. I have a request. Could we get a picture of you and your team holding the challenge coins? Thank you in advance. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, that event really was something special. We know this guy right here. Just a funny story. Our analyst, Laura Hannum, puts these reports together and does a fantastic job. She sent me this over originally, and I said, this looks really good. This picture, though, can't we do, we have to have some regular pictures that we actually took at the event, right? This is like a stock photo here with the dad and the son, and no, that was a photo that we actually took at the event. Like that's an amazing photo. I love that picture. Next up is Deputy Director Tony Gordon. These are the 58 employees that work in the social services area under his leadership. There we go.
Again, I'm Tony Gordon. Morning. This one's probably better. Yeah. I'm Tony Gordon. I'm the Deputy Director for Yuba County Child Adult Protective Services, and just want to talk about a couple of the programs that we do provide. So our first program we're going to talk about is our independent living program. That's designed for youth that are 16 to 21 as they transition from foster care into adulthood. So we partner with Yuba College and we provide classes on a weekly basis, just giving them the opportunity to learn life skills. And so, taking the direction of the board and seeing some of the feedback that we've had in the past, it was important for us to kind of go over some of the classes that we do provide to those youth. One is we provided a class on how credit affects your life. So why is it important to have good credit and the importance of balancing that credit, then making some good financial decisions. We also did tour the local Union 228. So we gave the opportunity for the youth to be educated about programs, about learning opportunities for employment that would focus on being a plumber, perhaps pipe fitters, steam fitters, stem fitters, HVAC, and also for welding training. And then we also talked about dressing to impress, like what's important to wear to a job interview, what's important to wear in your day-to-day activities, depending on what your job is. And really the success of the program that we had this year, there was 14 youth who did participate, who graduated from high school. One of those individuals received over $400,000 in scholarships with the goal to attend the Naval Academy. And then we also had an individual also graduate from Yuba College. So it's been a pretty successful program that we're pretty proud of. Other programs are things that we do expose them to other things. So they go to like local playhouses, things like that, where we can just expose them to a wide variety of options for just an education. Do you have a question, sir?
The Naval Academy is half tuition?
She's going to go to school first to use her degrees to become and go in as an officer. That's her goal. So yeah.
That was like $400,000 and did a tuition-free college.
Yeah, that was her goal. He's thinking ahead because she's learning. Let's go in as an officer, a lot better opportunities, right? Our second program that we want to talk about is our Transitional Age Foster Youth Program, our THP placement. So that's a program for housing for eligible foster youth who are 18 to 25 years of age. And so really what the goal is for them to be able to transition into a safe living environment as they transition out of a foster care placement. Now, part of the program, they do have a case plan. They do work with individuals, and part of that is they must be actively pursuing school or vocational training. They are willing to maintain a substance-free lifestyle, and they must be completing a secondary education or be enrolled in a post-secondary institution. Again, is also important to meet certain eligibility requirements. One of those requirements are that if they are participating in a less than full-time education program, they must work 20 hours a week. We do mentor them with the AmeriCorps or Yuba College, so some of those are the supports that we have in place. And I think one of the things I appreciate most about this program is that once they do graduate or do become employed, we still offer 2 years of adult mentorship. And that's really something that we found that they were lacking and needed. Necessity just to continue to grow with them and to make sure that they're being educated about still maintaining a healthy budget, how to pay their bills, and how to do some of those things where they're starting to focus on their credit. And again, those are some of the programs that we have that we really think are just important and really involve the board, and we're taking your feedback into consideration as we develop these. You have any questions for me?
One more question.
Yes.
On the independent living, just so I don't make sure the name doesn't mislead me, the 16 to 18-year-olds aren't actually living independently.
No.
It's just skills.
It's
Okay,
skills.
cool.
Yep. To make you become independent. Yes, sir. Supervisor Blaser?
Not a question, but it's really encouraging that you have this program because there's a constant worry that kids coming out of foster are going to drop into homelessness.
Yes.
So
yes,
I assume that your program is fairly successful.
Yes. And so these are just the two programs that offer some of that education piece. We do have youth that we call it an AB-12 program. And so those youth, maybe they honestly don't feel that they're ready to transition into that independent living program. So we offer services where they can still maintain a social worker through foster care, still receive some of those services and still kind of get that case management. And we use that program to help transition them into this next phase, which would be the transitional THP plus program.
Yeah, it sounds like a great program.
Yeah, a lot of safety nets that we have in place, just super cognizant of that. So, all right. Thank you for your time.
All right, on to public health. Here's Deputy Director Shaw and Dr. Liu, our public health officer, and the 46 employees that they oversee in that area. And in 2023, Dr. Liu nominated Yuba County for the inmate STD testing program that we've talked about and shared data about here previously. And actually was recognized with an award, a national award, the National Association of County and City Health Officials. So that's really nice recognition. 211 inmates total so far, that's through the month of June, have opted in to be tested for STDs in the jail. Next is the Yuba County Opioid Coalition Partnership. This involves a lot of groups in Yuba County: Peachtree, Office of Ed, Sheriff's Department, Probation, HHS. Here they are doing some of the activities, gathering up a bunch of naloxone kits, but in the future, there's also the task force also will work with Arrive Alive, do presentations at schools. Fire, law, public health will all be involved in those presentations. And moving on to our last section, our department updates. That's me and the 51 employees in the Administration and Finance Division. First update is our certification at HHS as a Blue Zone certified work site. If you guys are familiar with the Blue Zones project here in Yuba-Sutter, it's focused on person wellness, whole health wellness, living longer, living better, and through basically what we've done is shown to the Blue Zones project that at HHS we've engaged in enough activities and offer enough benefits. We've checked off enough boxes to earn enough points in their criteria to become officially certified as a Blue Zones worksite. So through the things that we offer at HHS, and then a good portion of them benefits that are offered centrally just from the county, we've become certified as a Blue Zones worksite. That allows us to officially advertise that now to both our existing and prospective employees, and really have something tangible that we can show that shows that we're focused on our employees, their wellness, and their experience at HHS. We also implemented the NeoGov Learn platform. We've talked about this here previously as well. This is a learning management system in use now at HHS. It's really helping us get our training unit for all of our staff, bring it up to modern standards. It comes with a lot of prepackaged course content, so employees can enroll in those courses themselves and really take charge of their learning path at HHS. But then also at the same time, any of the trainings that they're assigned to that they're enrolled in on behalf of the training unit or their supervisor, all of those records go into the system, and the employee supervisor, they all have the whole training resume of that employee available at their fingertips at any time. This project took a little while to get completed here, this AED installation and training at HHS, primarily due to supply chain delays and backlogs. But we now do have AEDs, defibrillators, available throughout the department on site at HHS in the event that there's a medical emergency where an AED is needed, which has happened in the past. These AEDs are available throughout the department, and all of our staff have been trained on how to use them. This is a training that we thought was pretty impactful. We took all of our staff for part of a day, all of the HHS staff during an official disaster may need to be disaster service workers. And I think this is pretty important because the care and shelter role that HHS plays during a disaster is very broad and pretty impactful. So this was a good chance to get everybody in a room, teach them academically, and then do some hands-on assignments, actually setting up cots and tables if a congregate shelter is needed, to brush everybody up on those skills that perish pretty quickly if you don't do it in a while. Then we've got a whole plethora of outreach events here that I'll just kind of run through. We've got the Just for Dads Fair, Yuba College Health Fair, the Community Resources Fair. This was a baby fair down in the bottom left. Dia de los Niños. Yes, Charter Academy Earth Day. There's Kynock Walk to School at the bottom, just to show the breadth of events that HHS participates in out in the community. and how we really are actively looking for those opportunities to engage with residents anytime there's a nexus or there's an overlap with an event in the community and the services that we offer. And we think there's a chance for us to spread that awareness to residents. Hey, we may be able to serve you in a way that you didn't know about. This is a good snapshot of a lot of the things that we've done in the past quarter here. We also have here the MJUSD Medi-Cal information session. So we provided in the evening information sessions about Medi-Cal enrollment, Medi-Cal eligibility, just again to help spread that awareness to residents. There might be benefits available to you that could really help your current situation, and help people learn about it, and potentially we can help get them enrolled. You can see up in the top right here, almost 40% of the residents in Yuba County currently receive Medi-Cal, over 32,000 people. So it's definitely it's a big program that a lot of people are able to take advantage of. And here we've got the Be Prepared Fair that was organized and sponsored by OES. HHS had a pretty good presence there. Again, our care and shelter duties during a disaster are broad, and they're big and impactful. And this was an opportunity for us to share with residents in Yuba County. Previously, I was talking about training our staff, but here we are sharing with the residents of Yuba County how we can help during a disaster. And unfortunately, we've got some disaster experience in our recent history here. And finally, I've got Elder Abuse Prevention Month. This was a campaign that we took part in. It pretty obviously connects with a few of the programs that we administer in the Child and Adult Protective Services Division. Elder abuse is a growing problem, unfortunately, and you can see the data slice on the right there. We had last year 276 adult protective services cases, 50 of those severe enough that they required a 10-day response time, and then 19 of those, or sorry, a separate 19 cases severe enough that they required immediate intervention. So, you know, this was an awareness month, and we felt compelled to have a presence during this month and share as much information about what we do, and trying to spread awareness about stopping elder abuse during this month. So that is the final page we have in our report. So happy to take any questions or any feedback that the board has.
Any questions to the board and the proper responses through the chair?
So through the chair, no questions, but just a couple of comments. So I thought it was a great presentation, very informative. I really appreciated seeing the specific counts of how many people are benefiting from HHS services. I thought that was really valuable information, and including a percentage of the population in certain cases. And congratulations to Dr. Liu and the team on the award. So,
any further comments? Well, I'd like to thank you for your presentation. It's amazing what happens in health and human services that we don't really know about. That's the point of this meeting, and it's the point of a lot of the budget talks too, is to give us a better idea of what's happening in Yuba County. And I have to thank Health and Human Services for doing a great job with, so many people. And, we've done so much with so little for so often. We pretty much do everything with nothing. And that's, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, public communications. Do we have any cards?
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. If you are participating via Zoom and wish to comment, Please use the raise hand function or *9 if participating on a phone. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we have 2 requests to speak cards and no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay. First one.
Tony Farley.
Okay, Tony, this time no fights. This time no fights.
Yeah. Test. Yeah, I'm from 25 from South Surrey County, South City here. Thank Andy Vasquez for his handling of the incident on July 25th, I believe. And thank the attorney too. Attorney was involved, so is DA, so is Kevin. Yeah, this guy named Kyle Frank Lieber. He's a felon now. That means with his gun rights, with his gun rights, with his rights to run for office, if you commit a felony, you can't do good stuff. So yeah, I was thinking the sheriff department, the sheriff's deputy was pretty awesome. He got assaulted too by the felon. Deputy should deserve a Medal of Valor award from the county. Hopefully, kind of has a Medal of Valor award, either ribbon or red ribbon reward or medal. And yeah, thank you for your service, all of you county employees and leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Chris Cruz.
Boy, reading material.
Yes. Respected board members, we purchased our home in 2011 and have struggled with the condition of our neighbor's yard since day one. Since we moved in, our neighbors had a horse, a travel trailer, a large boat, assorted metal fence parts, boulders, a pickup truck, several refrigerators with the door still attached, which is a concern since he still has children on his property. In the front yard, there have been several inoperative cars and a trailer parked on the street with expired tags. CHP and code enforcement have come by and ticketed the vehicles with some still on the street. I know that we may not have control over how or what our neighbor stores in his yard, but the debris has created a bigger problem, a rat infestation. Recently, our air conditioner was diagnosed with a serious leak. When we asked how this happened, we were told that rodents could be the problem. We were forced to replace the unit and have the lines encased in sheet metal at a cost to us of over $15,000. Also, our doorbell went out, and again, we were told it was probable that rats were chewing in our attic. So before I go any further, my wife and I have seen numerous rats coming from next door, and we have spoken to all our neighbors whose homes border our neighbor, and they have all confirmed they have a rat issue. So what have we done about this? We've used a pest control for years. We've had to call him outside his normal scheduled visits to supply us with traps and poison, all at an additional cost to us. Rats have chewed holes in our garage, and at times we hear them in the walls between the garage and the living room. In the last 45 days, we've killed 2 rats in the garage and almost a dozen in our yard, and continue to find evidence of them in the garage and outside. Recently, our 5-year-old granddaughter, found a dead rat when she went out to the garage to get a bottle of water. We know where these rats are coming from. The real question is who's going to help us address it. In the spring, we called environmental health. We shared the stress it is causing our family and the money we have spent to address the problem. They said we need to call code enforcement. We explained that we'd already done that. They said, well, these things take time. My response to that is this. In the last 10 years, we have seen the debris in our neighbor's yard grow exponentially. Damage to our fence has made the full replacement necessary, and the rat issue is out of control. I believe my family's concerns are valid, and that there's more than enough time to address and implement a reasonable solution. I recently called a realtor and asked them to give us an estimate of our home's value. After an evaluation of our home, neighborhood comps, and a drive-by of our neighbor's home, we were told that we should expect to take a $40,000 to $50,000 loss at the time of sale because of our neighbor. This is unacceptable. So if this was your home, the place that you work so hard to maintain and improve, how long would you tolerate this before you expect a resolution to the problem? And I also have to ask, how many rats does it take to qualify this as an infestation or a matter of public nuisance or safety? Ultimately, my wife and I are demanding that the board review the complaints filed on 1876 River Drive and take into consideration the stress and damage that has been caused. We believe that the decrease in our property values, the general appearance of the neighborhood, the damage and cost of the repairs to our homes, And just the ability of our granddaughter to be able to play in our yard and not have to see a rat or find a dead one is important. We feel we've been more than patient. We are formally requesting a written response to the action that can or will be taken in the next 10 days. If we have not heard from you within that time, we will explore the necessity to bring this issue to the grand jury. Thank you.
Kevin, could we forward this to the code enforcement? I know right where that is.
Yes, I'll take the material and
Okay.
then I'll have code enforcement report back to the board at the next board meeting on what they've done to follow up on this.
Okay, thank you. We have another board. Any further comment?
No further comment.
Okay. On to the next county departments. Item 382, Community Development Services, approved plans, specifications, estimate for the West Linda Multi-Use Basin Phase 1 project. So how's it feel to be in the fire constantly? Okay.
Still miss Dan, but luckily he's just across the river, so we can still give him a call. But Sam Bunton, Public Works, thanks for having me today. A little background on the item. So with Dan Peterson as our previous director, we were very successful with receiving grants for bike lanes, sidewalks, and drainage, especially in the West Linda area. Today's project is to be able to drain some of those projects, especially roads like Cedar Lane, Alicia Avenue, Garden Avenue, and Feather River Boulevard. The cool thing about this project is does have a very good connection into the Friendship Park beautification project that we also were awarded. As well, with coordination with Health and Human Services, we've been planning a multi-use component, which would allow this basin not only to be storm drainage during the winter, but during the other 3 seasons of the year with landscaping and irrigation and those types of things to have the ability for recreational purposes. As well, the big $27 million transformative West Linda project that we were awarded, this could potentially serve as what we call a water quality basin as well. So today we recommend to the Board of Supervisors approval of plans, specifications, and estimate, and authorize the advertisement of bids. Any questions from the board?
Any questions? Okay. Any questions from the public? All right. We'll bring it back to the board for a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we need a roll call? No? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's the door. No. Okay. Measure passes. All right. Correspondence.
The board may direct any item of informational correspondence to a department head for appropriate action. There are 2 items on the agenda. 388-2023, letter from MBK Engineers regarding South Sutter Water District petition for change involving water transfer under license 11118. And item 406-2023, letter from California Department of Water Resources regarding community assistance visit of April 26, 2023.
All right. Next item is board and staff member reports. Don.
We had two gatherings at the Government Affairs Committee. James Gallagher did a nice presentation and answered a lot of questions related to the government. And United Way put on a program awarding a lot of the local service clubs. That was also very good. And I think upcoming is the stand down, and maybe Andy can give us a little more information on that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Seth. The new Seth.
Always nice to see all of the workers and what they have done over the years. Echoing the citizen who came in and spoke about their particular need, we want to make sure that we fulfill those needs and work towards improving our community. So anything we can do to double code enforcement size again. I think we already doubled it once. We can double it again perhaps, but we need to make sure that that is happening. The very core services that we provide, whether it's public safety or community, need to be always prioritized.
few community events coming up this weekend in the South County on Saturday evening. So Wheatland is having a cruise night on Front Street starting at 5 p.m. on Saturday, and Plumas Lake is having a picnic in the park on Saturday as well from 6 to 10 at Ufe Wood. Both have food and music, and the Plumas Lake event also has vendors and a beer garden. And then in addition to that, I have enjoyed partnering with Blue Zones to do a walking moai in Plumas Lake on Monday mornings at 6:30 a.m., starting at the north parking lot at Ufe Wood Park. So we've completed our 5th week. There's 5 more to go. So anyone who's interested in coming out and walking with me on Monday mornings. And then 2 more items. So one is next week on Thursday, SACOG will be holding their monthly board meeting here in Yuba County. They're kind of taking 3 of the board meetings on the road this year and meeting in 3 different of the 6 counties in the region. And Yuba County is one of those. So it'll be out at Health and Human Services at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. Anyone's welcome to join that. Blue Zones will be giving a presentation, as will the county, about some of the great projects we've done with respect to sidewalks, curbs, gutters, storm drains, those kind of things. And in addition to that, they're also actually meeting at 8:30 a.m. at the Brick to go on a walking tour of Marysville for anyone who's interested in joining for that as well prior to the board meeting. So it's great for them to come up here. I'm looking forward to it, and thanks staff for their help and their presentations on that. And then finally, if you have any curiosity about the North Valley Rail project and what's going on with that, I'm honored to be the speaker at my Rotary Club this Thursday morning at 7 a.m. So another early morning at Tracy's Diner right over here. And I'll be presenting on that project. So if anyone wants to hear about that, come over, have some breakfast, learn about North Valley Rail.
What was the date again on SACOG?
The SACOG is next Thursday. I forget the actual date, but.
If I can make a suggestion for SACOG, instead of having it in Linda, perhaps have it in Marysville at 4 o'clock so they can travel from Sacramento into Marysville. I think that might help.
That is a good suggestion.
Prioritizations. Early in the morning in Linda is not the same.
Hopefully they'll get a little bit of experience from that coming into Marysville in the morning for the walk. Won't be quite as bad as in the evening, but there'll be a little bit of that. So that's it for me.
I finished my new supervisor training on the 27th and 28th. So I have a certificate now. No, you guys would be envious. And also on the 28th, I went to Dan Peterson's retirement party, and I want to let you all know I rode the bull. Took for some persuasion. I survived it. Let's see what else. I went on a tour with Tykert of their property south of the Yuba River on the 1st. And let's see what else did I have on here. Anyway, I'm helping support Dancing with the Stars. If you guys can all make it to Dancing with the Stars, I may or may not have a small part in one of the movies. You have to show up to see it. You have to show up to see it. No, Dr. Vess.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
one more thing. Could I add one more thing? Also on the 31st, I went on Q93 radio with some people from Brownsville to support the Brownsville Mountain Fair that's coming up the 19th and 20th of August. Logging demos, craft shows, 2 stages with stuff going on, and they have beer. So come up to the mountains and enjoy the day, or 2 days.
okay.
Also, do you want me to ask for my adjournment now?
Yes.
So I'd also ask that we adjourn in memory of Brenda Robbins. Brenda owned Coffee City in Marysville and passed away from cancer, long battle with cancer, and just a kind of a pillar in our community.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sean. Well, I'm on the radio Sunday, 1 to 3. Yeah. I'd like to ask that we adjourn in memory of the 13 U.S. servicemen who were the last casualties of the Afghan war, and that have not been ever recognized by our president or Congress or anybody till yesterday. So, and I'll leave it at that. We've got a long meeting coming up. So, Kevin?
Yeah, just a couple updates. So the workshop for budgets will begin at 1 p.m. It'll actually be next door in the Marysville Wheatland room. We have lunch for the board, so it'll be available 12:30. I'm checking with Natalie. So board comes early. We'll make sure you're well nourished before we begin presentations.
Hopefully it's not a Southwest lunch. Peanuts and pretzels.
No. It's a little lunch. And then as a reminder, thank you, Supervisor Bradford, for reminding the board about the county hosting SACOG. So that'll be out at the Packard building, HHS, the main conference room in there, and then the brick walking tour, prior to the meeting. So that's Thursday the 17th, and then on Friday the 18th, as I mentioned during our service recognitions, that's where we're going to be having a hosted lunch, actually at a Peachtree Country Club, where the board is all invited to recognize those folks that hit the milestone of 20, 25, 30, and 35 years of service. So
okay,
that's it for me.
So we're going to also give that binder to code enforcement so we can.
Yes. Thanks for the reminder on that. So thank you, Supervisor Vasquez, for giving me your copy of the information there on 1876 River Run. And we'll hand that off to code enforcement and make sure that code enforcement reports back out to the board at the next meeting on an update on where they're at with the case.
Thank you. All right. County Council?
Just one more item on the document that was provided. If one of the supervisors could allow the clerk to make a scanned copy for it to go into the record, and nothing further from our office, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, we're going to go in closed session. We have 2 items that we'll cover, and why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Nice compliment on your speech out there, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.